Hello, I am very awake at 2 a.m. here in Colorado, Broomfield, Colorado, a suburb of Denver, and I'm thinking about peace, and I'm thinking about being loved, and what it feels like to be loved, and what's better. And I'm thinking about my appearance, and how my appearance is going down, and how it's affecting my mental state. And I don't know why I'm thinking about this at this time. I'll probably go right back to sleep after all of this, but anyway, I know what it feels like to catch people's looks. I know what it feels like to be relatively attractive, and I'm losing that now. And just like anything else, if you have something and you enjoy the benefit of it and you lose it, there's a certain amount of pain in that. I heard of this story of people in the first sphere of the spirit world. I'm actually surprised it's the first sphere, but I would assume, if anything, it's the top of the first sphere, where they are able to learn a methodology of changing their appearance. And they are able to look on the surface to be very attractive. They're able to look that way. And they really enjoy the opportunity to look good in front of others. And they strut down the sidewalk and, down the boulevard or whatever, and I suppose they catch glances from people and they feel good about themselves. And I suppose after a long time where they cannot do that, on Earth, maybe they've aged and they have fallen into, relative unattractiveness, for quite some time. The discovery of the ability to do all that, I suppose, is a happy surprise to them. But I've also heard that wears off rather quickly. So the ability to change your appearance to look good on the surface becomes something that is a bit of a bore, or a bit monotonous, or at some point they find that there's something else that they want in life. There's something else that they are driven towards, that there are deeper desires in their heart. So I find that story very intriguing. I don't know if it's true. I take all of these things with a grain of salt. I collect these stories, these hints about what life could be, what my future could be like, and I have this little collection of ideas to work with for the rest of my life on this earth. And if there is in fact a life afterward, which I don't feel I've fully proven to myself, then I can use all of this knowledge that I've collected and prove the truth and authenticity of it. So, but I bring it up because, it's very interesting to me that my own appearance affects my own confidence very much at this time, and it prevents me from moving forward in my life, I feel. And I'm talking about issues with my teeth. I'm talking about my baldness. I'm talking about my weight. I'm talking about, different defects I see in my physical person that other people, I'm sure, can also see and are aware of. And, there's some things that you can't hide, and then there are things that you wish to hide, and people inevitably seem to pick up on it. You know, I don't wear makeup, but it's almost like that. It's almost like slathering makeup on myself. Or I think my methodology is just to avoid people, just to be a lonely recluse, and to avoid the stares of the world as much as possible. But I don't know how to segue into my next points, but I'm going to just go ahead and spear through. I imagine there's more, you know. I know that there's these nagging pains that linger in my life. There's so many insecurities that I have inside of myself. And all of these things are triggered endlessly throughout my day. All these feelings of self-doubt, all these moments of self-punishment and attack, where I think to myself, well, you know, what could be, and what might I do, and what good things might I accomplish, and then I say to myself, well, that's really, really impossible, Theo. You can't possibly do that because you're just unable. You're nobody, really. You're not someone that can rise to a certain potential that you might have in your mind. And I'm kind of stuck in this state where it's almost as if I'm handicapped in some way. I guess I'm kind of mentally handicapped. I am frequently believing, you know, it's, I don't know. I wonder how it is for some people. I wonder how much some people are stuck in their imagination. And maybe I say stuck derisively, but they have these, you know, I'm trying to think of the caricature of, you know, the dreamer that, I don't know, believes they can be a Hollywood star, or a successful business person, or a successful family person, or having a certain level of status in their society, their community, and then waking up after their dream to their current reality and feeling a certain amount of misery at seeing all of that, seeing how their life currently is, and feeling that they can't move forward. And it strikes me that we choose not to go into that, and we choose not to feel those things. We choose not to write about them and document them for our own sake, and attempt to deal with those things, or maybe go to therapy and talk about it, or go to God and say, God, I feel a certain way about myself, and gosh, it's just so rough to think about all of these things, and think about the gap between my current state and my potential, and what I want for myself. It's interesting that we don't think about that as real pain. We don't think about that as something that can be actually affected, something that we can actually change, that we can actually feel a certain faith in ourselves. We might actually feel that we can accomplish something. You know, is that impossible? Is it actually impossible to reach a level where we actually believe in ourselves? Where we actually believe that we can accomplish things? Usually it stops at a certain amount of, self-punishment, I think, where you think, oh, I can do this, and then you say, no, I wouldn't be able to do that. I've had too many bad experiences where things don't happen for me, and yeah, we punish ourselves, we berate ourselves, we stop ourselves, we handicap ourselves. So, but then I think, all of these things, all of these accomplishments I imagine I might be able to have, what would it all mean, Let's say I had status in society. Let's say I was relatively known, and I had money, and I don't know. Let's say I dotted my I's and I crossed my T's, and I made for myself a certain life that was acceptable to people, that people envied, that people wished for themselves. Wouldn't they then look at me and say, wow, he did it, he made it. Gee, I wish I could do that. And wouldn't they not hurt me then? Isn't that what it's about? I mean, isn't that what we're asking for when we look for status, when we look for accomplishments? I'm not saying that everyone's the way that I am, but I see this in myself at the very least. I see that I want acceptance from people, that I want, I used to think when I was a teenager that I didn't care what other people think. I had the gall to say that. And I think it was a wish for myself, really, more than an actual feeling about how I felt about things. But the truth is that I care very much what other people think. Very much. And I live based on what other people think. Based on whether someone's going to accept me or people are going to accept me. I don't want them to hurt me. I don't want them to trigger my fear. I don't want them to make me think that maybe I will be severely ostracized, and maybe that will lead to my own death. Maybe I will not have access to food or resources or shelter or water, and I will die because people don't accept me, because I am so far from the norm that I am just unacceptable to the world. So I think about these things and I strive for these things, and I don't get those things. I have a modicum of acceptance from people, but mostly I have this hatred of the world and the way things are, and my own petty desire for acceptance. I know in myself that I don't value this because I am a moral and principled human being. I value acceptance from people because I'm utterly terrified of what it would mean if I didn't have it. And then I think, what if I actually had that? Would I actually feel okay? Would I actually be able to say to myself, boy, I've made it. I've really got it now. I've really got what I need now to make it through. And of course the answer is no. Being accepted from the world, being accepted by the world, you're never going to be accepted by everyone. I can be accepted by the people I want to be accepted by. And even then, I know their hearts are very fickle. And how much does it really mean to be accepted by the world? It's a It's a surface level acceptance. It's someone saying, or a group of people saying, we won't, we'll give you a huge pass because you have tickled our fancy, or something that you give to us makes us feel good, and therefore we won't kill you or be nasty towards you. So then I think, well, really what I'm after is peace. I want to feel good in myself. I want to feel not angry all the time and triggered all the time and scared all the time. I want to actually want something and then go for it and get it. And then feel like, wow, I can actually have what I want in life. I want some kind of peace. What is it? What is peace? I don't know. It's got to be different than how I feel now. It's got to be different than the fear and the anger and the stress of life that I feel constantly. And then I think, how much is that? How much is that really? How great is that really? Peace. To have peace. Sure, it's probably better than what I have now. And then I think there must be something more, you know? There must be something more than peace. And to me, that thing would be a feeling of being loved. Which is really something I would translate into a feeling of belonging. Feeling that I actually belong. I'm allowed to be here. There's a reason I'm here. Someone wants me to be here. And I have a certain potential. And I have a place I'm going to. A destination that's made for me. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that looks like or feels like. But it's nice to think about. So I'm sorry to get so weepy. But it's kind of like a Maslow's hierarchy of things that we want. To me it's like whatever. It's something that might be above self-actualization. Or maybe it's in tandem with self-actualization. Hierarchy of needs, that's what it's called. I imagine what it would be like to feel completely loved. To feel so secure in myself. To know that I'm meant to be here. I deserve life and happiness. So I think there are some wonderful things to look forward to. Even if you don't find luck or a good appearance or accomplishments or status or peace. There might, in fact, be something beyond all of that you can have. So I'm going to go to sleep now, and I end this video with a wish that you can have that maybe someday. And farewell.